Okay, so get back out your factoring packet. I told you we would come back to it. We, a couple days ago, did factoring with a lead coefficient of 1. So you worked on it yesterday. Of course, you had all the different types of factoring that we've learned so far mixed together. But real quick review of lead coefficient of 1. We're going to do that in your factoring packet because we haven't done it yet. Always, 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 always ask yourself if there's a GCF in this first one. There is not. So we're going to go ahead and factor this. If you need to use a factor sum chart, then go ahead and do that. Factor sum. Looking for the factors of negative 12 that would combine to give you positive 4. If you don't have to use a factor sum chart, then great. Don't worry about it. But some people might still need it. I'm going to factor this one as x plus 6, x minus 2. Alright, so still factoring with a lead coefficient of 1. That's a big hint to you, because this lead coefficient is not 1, that there is a GCF. So you must factor that out first. It has a GCF of 2, which will leave x squared plus 5x minus 12. Then I have to continue factoring that using a factor sum chart if you need to. Looking for factors of 12 that would combine to give you 5. So let's see. Factors of 12. What? I didn't do that right. Sorry. That's a 6. Factors of 6. Negative 6 that would combine to give you 5. Okay, so let's see. Negative 6. Be careful on this one because it's a negative 6. So it's not 3 and 2 because I can't get 5 with a negative 3 and a positive 2 or a positive 3 and a negative 2. I can only get 5 with x plus 6, x minus 1. In this case, it might have benefited you to use the factor sum chart because sometimes people mistake this one and use 2 and 3. Alright, so that's just a little review. Now we're going to go into a lead factoring trinomials with a lead coefficient other than 1. So now, I look at this and I just hope that there is a lead, that there's a GCF that's going to get rid of this 6 so that I can factor it. But there's not. So I have to have another way to factor this. Now you'll notice 6x squared plus 7x minus 5, they have written this problem again and again with multiple methods. But I don't like to teach multiple methods. I prefer only teaching one method so that we are all doing it the same way. And I have found over my 12 years that this method, the bottoms-up method, is the simplest for us all to use. So, hang on to your factoring packet. We will come back to it. But I want you to go to the other worksheet that you've been given. It says at the top in big letters, bottoms-up method, factoring trinomials with a coefficient other than 1. So we've got an example here and the steps. Now, let me warn you. As we go through this, it's going to appear to be long, but I promise it will start to get very quick for you as you practice. Okay, so here's my example. Always and forever, step 1 is to ask yourself if there is a GCF. In this case, there is not. So we move to step number 2, which is to multiply the first and the last terms to get a new constant. I usually do it like this. 3 times 8 gives me positive 24. That's my new constant. Well, step 2 says create a new trinomial by dropping the lead coefficient. So I'm going to drop that 3 off and using the new constant. I don't know why it says drop again. Ignore that. So I'm going to write x squared plus 10x, and instead of plus 8, I'm going to use that new constant I created in the step above, 24. Now this trinomial, I am going to factor with a factor sum chart. If you don't need the factor sum chart, that's okay. That would give me x plus 6, x plus 4. Now, you are not finished. It can't be that easy because remember, we dropped off a lead coefficient. I can't just ignore that. So step 5 says I have to bring back that lead coefficient as a denominator. So I'm going to bring back the lead coefficient of 3 and just put it right here under these. Step 6 says simplify if possible. Well, that first fraction, x plus 6 over 3, simplifies to x plus 2. The second one doesn't simplify. But step 8 says bottoms up. That's how this gets its name. The bottom of the fraction is going to move up and be a coefficient. So I end up with x plus 2, 3x plus 4. And that's it. So it seems like it takes a bit, but it really doesn't. Let's go through it again. Step by step, we are going to multiply the first and the last terms. That would give me positive 30. Oh, first I have to ask myself if there's a GCF. There is not. The 17 is prime. So then you multiply first and last. Create yourself a new a new trinomial, dropping the lead coefficient. So I got x squared minus 17x plus 30 because I used my new constant. Now, factor that with a factor sum chart, or if you can just factor it. Factors of 30 that combine to give you 17. That would be x minus 15, x minus 2. You cannot stop there because you had this coefficient of 5 that you dropped off. That has to be taken care of somewhere. You bring it back as a denominator. Simplify these fractions if you can, and the first one does. It becomes x minus 3. The second one does not, so you can do bottoms up. 5x minus 2. All right, I'm going to give you a second, see how you do if you try this one on your own. Right. Keep working. I'm going to go through it. Multiply first and last. I asked myself if there was a GCF. There is not. So I multiply first and last. I get negative 30. Create for myself a new trinomial. Dropping the lead coefficient and using my new constant. Factor that trinomial if you can, and it does. X minus 6, x plus 5. You can use a factor sum chart if you need to. Gotta bring back that lead coefficient. Simplify it if it can. This one doesn't, but I can bottoms up. All right, got a couple more problems on the back. on this one that you asked yourself if there is a GCF, because there is. And if you didn't, then at the end, you're going to get a very close answer, but it won't be the exact correct answer. There's a GCF of 2 in this one. So that's going to give me 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Now this trinomial is still a trinomial with a lead coefficient that's not 1. So I still have to bottoms up the trinomial piece. The 2 is a factor, and it's going to remain a factor the rest of the problem. But I'm going to deal with just this trinomial first. So I'm going to make myself a new trinomial, x squared plus 5x minus 6. Factor that with a factor sum chart, or if you already know how it factors. X plus 6, x minus 1. Bring back the lead coefficient. Now, it's the lead coefficient. That doesn't have anything to do with the factor that I GCF'd out. I'm talking about this coefficient. The one that I multiplied by has to come back. Simplify that if it will. The first piece this time does, second piece does not. So I can bottoms up that, 2x minus 1. Do not forget that you factored out 2 in the beginning, because this is your final answer. You have to have that 2. Because remember, if you were going to remultiply this, FOIL it back and distribute, you have to get all the way back to this trinomial, which if you didn't have that GCF, you wouldn't do. And the problem is, if you try to factor it without factoring out the GCF, you will simplify that 2 away. So you'll end up with a wrong answer. Alright, so try the one underneath it, check for a GCF. But it does have a GCF. Your GCF this time is 5, so make sure you factor that 5 out first. And that's going to leave me 8x squared minus 2x minus 1. Now that is still a trinomial with a lead coefficient other than 1. So we're going to use bottoms up method. Multiply first and last. Create for yourself a new trinomial, x squared minus 2x minus 8. Factor sum chart that, or if you can just factor it in your head, get x minus 4, x plus 2. You have a lead coefficient. I'm not talking about the GCF, I'm talking about the lead coefficient of 8. Alright, now this time both fractions simplify. We haven't had that before. So I get x minus 1/2 and x plus 1/4. Now I have to bottoms up both of these. That's okay. 2 goes in front of this one and 4 goes in front of that one. So I end up with 2x minus 1 and 4x plus 1. But that 5 is also part of your final answer. So don't forget that. Alright, one more. Try number 5 and then we'll do number 5 together and then you'll have an assignment to do. factoring out a GCF, because there is one again. This time it's 3. That leaves me 10x squared minus x minus 2. Multiply, gotta use bottoms up methods, multiply first and last. Create for yourself a new trinomial, x squared minus x minus 20. That factors as x plus 4, x minus 5. Gotta bring back this 10. They both simplify again. X plus 2/5 and x minus 1/2. And then you bottoms up. So 5x plus 2, and 2x minus 1. Do not forget the 3 that you factored out. So that is your final answer. All right, so we need to practice bottoms up method. You have a worksheet that is just bottoms up. But don't forget to check for GCF, always and forever.